The first sound I remember is the drum. The talking drum that echoed through our village every dawn, calling the hunters to the forest and the women to the riverside. That sound was the heartbeat of IGBU, steady, proud, and ancient. I was born into it, the son of a respected hunter, Ogun, a man who believed courage was the only prayer the gods required of a man. From the moment I could hold a bow, I followed him into the forest. He used to say, Adewale, a hunter's strength is not in his arm, but in his heart. If your heart trembles, your arrow will miss. I believed him. I lived by those words. But courage could not save me from love. Her name was Ario, the daughter of the chief priest, Babalawo Ejok. She was the only light that made the shadows of the forest seem kind. Her laughter was like water spilling from a calabash, it caught the sun and danced with it. The first time I saw her, she was at the river, her hands dyed red from the camwood she used to mark sacred symbols on her face before the festival. She did not see me, but my soul saw her, and refused to look away. For moons I watched from afar. In our land, the daughter of a priest was sacred. No ordinary man could speak to her unless summoned by the gods. But one evening, as I walked along the riverbank, she turned and said, "You follow me like a shadow that has lost its body." I froze. My tongue felt like stone. She smiled and continued, "If you will speak, hunter, speak. The river will not tell on you." So I spoke, and from that day, our hearts spoke louder than our mouths. At first, our love was secret, hidden between trees and moonlight. We met beneath a great baobab, where the spirits of old lovers were said to rest. We carved a mark there, 2 doves, wings touching. She said it would remind the ancestors that our love was pure. But purity is not always protection. One day, she came to me with tears in her eyes. "My father," she said, "has promised me to Oletunji, the warrior from Okogan. He says it will end the feud between our clans. The marriage is to bring peace." Peace. That word tasted like ashes. I begged her to run away with me. She refused at first, torn between love and duty. But as the festival of the harvest drew near, she came to me at dusk, breathless and trembling. "I cannot be another man's peace while my heart is at war," she whispered. That night, we ran. The forest was thick with rain and darkness. Our feet sank into the mud, but our hearts beat with the rhythm of freedom. Behind us, torches flared, the warriors of Okogan and my own clansmen. The drums of pursuit thundered through the night. Then, under the sacred cotton tree, fate struck. Oletunji himself blocked our path. His eyes burned with fury. "Adewale," he shouted, "you have stolen what the gods have chosen for peace. You have doomed us all." He lunged. I parried with my hunting spear. The rain turned the ground to blood. I remember his cry, the flash of steel, and then silence, terrible, endless silence. When I looked down, my spear was red. Oletunji lay still at my feet. Ario screamed. The air changed, the thunder broke. Somewhere in the distance, the sacred drums of the priesthood began to beat, the sound of a curse being born. At dawn, the elders gathered. The Babalawo stood before the shrine of Ogun. "You have spilled blood upon sacred soil," he said. "You have brought shame to both clans. For this, you shall wander beyond the 7 hills until your spirit finds Idariji, redemption." They gave me no food, no water, only my father's spear and a charm bag. Ario tried to follow, but her father dragged her back. "Let him walk his punishment," he said. "If the gods will forgive, they will show it through his return." So I walked. I walked until my feet bled and the trees gave way to dry land. I crossed rivers that whispered my name and slept beneath skies so wide they could swallow hope. The songs of the ancestors followed me, sometimes gentle, sometimes accusing. Years passed. The beard grew on my face like weeds on forgotten soil. I hunted only to live, not to conquer. Every night, I spoke to the spirits of the forest, begging for a sign. And then, one night, I dreamed of Ario. She was standing by the river, dressed in white, her hands lifted in prayer. Behind her, the land was dying, rivers drying, crops turning to dust. She turned to me and said, "Come home, Adewale. The land remembers." When I woke, the moon was red. I knew it was time. I returned to Hbu, a ghost of the man who had left. The people I once knew looked at me as though death had walked into the market. The river was silent, even the birds no longer sang. I went to the shrine. The priest I found there was old and weary, but it was Ario's voice that broke the silence. "You came back," she said. She looked older, her beauty tempered by sorrow, her eyes like wells that had seen too many tears. She wore white from head to toe, cowries glinting in her hair. She had become a priestess, keeper of the sacred fire. "I have come for forgiveness," I said. "For you, for the gods, for myself." She nodded slowly. "The land has waited, Adewale. Ogun would demand a sacrifice. Blood for blood." I knew then what I had to do. I knelt before the shrine. "Let it be mine," I said. "Let my life heal what my hands have broken." She tried to stop me. "No. You were not alone in this. Love cannot be seen if it was born of truth." But I smiled. "If the gods can see my heart, they will know this is love's final offering." I placed my hand on the sacred iron of Ogun's altar. The drums began again, the same rhythm that had called me to the forest as a child. Fire flared. The wind rose. I felt a warmth, not of pain, but of release. The world went quiet. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer bound to flesh. I stood beside Ario, though she did not see me. The curse had lifted, the river was flowing again, the trees were green, and the people danced in thanksgiving. 2 white doves flew from the shrine, circling above her head before soaring toward the sunrise. The elder priest looked to the sky and said, "Love has found its way to the gods." I smiled, because I knew the doves were us, free at last, our wings clean, our souls at peace. And so, to those who listen to this tale beneath the moonlight, remember. Love may be forbidden by men, but never by the ancestors. If your heart is true, even the gods will bend to it. For this is my story, the journey of my redemption. And though my body sleeps beneath the earth, my spirit still follows the sound of the drum.